Hey, what's up everyone? Andy here with my cancer journey, and I'm going to get back straight into it. Where last time I was talking about how I got blood clot in my PICC line and put my mum through a horrendous ordeal of me self-discharging and getting her to bring me home. They did give me an injection, a blood thinning injection, which I then went on to have every single day. So even when I was at home, I had nurses coming out to my mum's house where she was looking after me as well, and working a full-time job, which I don't know how she did, but she's like superwoman, super mum. Love you. And yeah, they were coming out and they were giving me injections in my arms. And these injections, they just went and squirted in. It hurt because it would bubble up. My arms ended up lumpy all over and bruised, and you know what I mean? They're trying to find places to do them, and then they'd accidentally get one where they'd done one a few days before and it would get big and sore, and yeah, it'd go like that and it would hurt. But it saved that, you know what I mean? Like, that saved me, and thank God I didn't get another blood clot. I was blood clot free after that. I wanted to just talk to you about what it was like for me on the hospital ward that I was on, and how I coped on a daily basis when I was in hospital. Some weeks I'd spend pretty much most of my day in bed, except for, and a lot of people will criticise me for this, I got told to, well, I smoked through my chemotherapy. I got told not to put my body under any more stress than it already was, so to quit. And you didn't have vapes back then, so they tried patches. It didn't work. It really didn't work. I can remember having like 4 patches on, burn marks on my arm, and I took them off because I have sensitive skin, and it really didn't work. And I'd go out, but on that way out, I'd have to walk through I was at one end of this ward, Yo ward it's called, and I'd have to walk all the way through all of the wards and then out this door into the little garden that they had. And I loved going out into this garden, and I think it was more about getting out into the garden and turning my back on the ward and looking at the plants and forgetting that I was in hospital for a little bit. So whilst I was walking through, I'd say hello to everyone, and I felt like it was my job to try and make people laugh and smile. I thought, if I can make everyone smile today, that would make me smile. Helping others helped me get through it, and I did. I went round and I used to make jokes with everyone. I'd wind the noses up a bit, and just a Jack the Lad having a laugh. But realistically, I was going through some serious things that needed to be talked about on a serious note, and I never did that until doing this. And recently, I'd say in the last 5 years, I've been a work in progress and been really sort of dealing with a lot of things that happened, and it's been a hard 5 years as well, because there's been a lot going on in my life, which has caused us so much stress. And I do believe that my brain needed time to heal, really time to heal. I need no stress in my life and stuff like that. And to be honest, it it wasn't like that. It's not been like that. It's affected my brain. I think I had a period where I sort of came out of it and I started to improve, and then slipped back down again when a lot of things got very, very stressful in my life. I nearly lost the will, not through cancer, through family things, and I just dropped off and nearly I lost myself for a bit. And finding myself was part of what I found myself in here in my heart, and what I really felt like I needed to do, which is try and help other people in any way I can. I've been given this gift from having cancer. I want to help people, and it's made me compassionate and stuff. And yeah, but get back to the ward, because this is great. I'd go around and I'd make I was on a ward with old people, and I was only 21, 22 as well, second time, like this time around that I'm talking about now. And I was so ill sometimes I couldn't do it. Just as I went through, I'd say hello to everyone, and everyone knew it was a bad day. It was a bad day, going straight through, going back to bed. But I'd put on a smile and everything. But you can tell, you can see it in the whole thing. Like, I'd struggle to get to the door to get out, holding my drip as a sort of walking stick almost to help me get out there. When I was good, I'd go round and talk to all of the elderly patients and stuff. A lot of them didn't know what was going on, and I didn't see them have people, family, friends come and visit them. And I felt for those people, and I wanted to try and bring them some support. And it took my mind off what I was going through. I sort of, in that period when I went around and started talking to people, it was like I wasn't a patient on the ward, it was like I worked on the ward. And I got so close with the nurses and stuff that they kind of, almost, I don't know, but it was kind of like they saw me like that as well. They'd let me go around, and obviously if something happened, which it did now and again, I'd move out the way and they'd come in and sort it out, or I'd get them over. And I made some friends with some lovely people, and like I can remember being on the ward with this one gentleman who sadly isn't with us anymore. He passed whilst I was in hospital with him, and he was an amazing person, really amazing guy. He had a lovely family, and he talked to me so much. I felt he treated me with so much respect. He told me stories about his life, which at times when you're really feeling it and you're just curled up in a ball, he would just talk to me, and he was feeling horrible sometimes, and I talked to him. I can remember standing there doing a dance on my tiptoes, dry heaving, and I can remember hearing like a couple of ribs break, because I spent like about 12 hours trying to be, well, my body was trying to get out whatever was being put into it, so I was urging with nothing in me to be sick, so I was just sort of dry heaving, and this is horrible to hear, but it's good, it's real, and I don't need to say it. And yeah, dry heaving and having ribs crack, and I actually felt I broke 4 ribs one night. And I'm gonna just stand up and do this because it's funny now, but I used to, I'd be there and I'd be going like that for hours, and then it was like crack, and then you got hours of the pain is unbelievable. Yeah, getting injections to try and stop me urging, because they couldn't give me tablets because obviously it just come out. Drink water, it came out. It became a routine of waking up, throwing up, and I don't like being sick, but now, do you know, it used to scare me being sick. I don't know why it used to scare. I think people can relate to that. It is a bit of a scary thing that your body does, but when you do it on a scale like I did when I was ill, you kind of that fear goes away a little bit, and then every time until it's just being sick, like there's other worse things that could go on. So I don't know how I just managed to tell myself that get through this and you're going to be okay, mate. Just fight. And something inside here would not let go of life. And even when I was watching the elderly people that I'd made friends with start to pass away, I still managed to keep my head strong that I wasn't going to. It was hard, very, very hard, but I had a lot of support. When I came out of hospital for my 4 days, I got great support from my friends, especially one friend in particular who helped to make my time out of hospital to feel as normal as it possibly could. And I've told this friend, and I hope you don't mind me, Liam, saying your name, and I hope that you watch this, because if you hadn't have done what you did when you picked me up on your way home from work and you took me round to that house and we'd sit there with everyone, and we were all a tight-knit group of friends, really. We'd sit there and there'd be 10 of us or something, 8, 10, maybe less, but there'd always be a good amount of us, and I loved it because it was like I wasn't a sick person, even though people, they'd say, you're doing all right, Andy, and Liam would end up driving me home if I started feeling sick and that. But we'd sit there and do what we did before I got ill. We'd sit there and play cards, and I wouldn't be treated like special, you know what I mean? We'd take the mickey out of each other, and poker faces. We used to play poker with a big jar of 2p's, and then Liam would drive me home when I was feeling. It's like they could see me sort of going. It was like, right, do you want to lift home, Andy? And he'd drive me back to my mum's house. Otherwise, I wouldn't have got out, and that helped me so much. And he's one of the people that drove all the way from Devon to Scotland with another friend, Sam, and Seamus, who just drove all the way up there to come and see me and stay with me the night before I had my surgery, which was amazing. They are, I can't express how much that meant. It helped me so much to go into that hospital for my surgery the next day without fear, knowing that I was going to get through it and things were going to be okay. And I knew that even though there was a chance that I might not see anyone again, I knew that I was gonna. I don't know how, I just knew. Like I said, I didn't let go of life. Inside here, I didn't let go of life. When they told me 2 weeks, I said, in my head, I was, no way, mate. That's not happening. That's not me. I've got things going on that I want to do with my life. I didn't know what, but I wasn't ready to let go. So I didn't. And I dug deep, and I really, really thought. And there was times where I planned my own funeral, what I wanted to say, and I wrote letters to people that my mum thinks she's still got them, which it'd be interesting to get them and to have a look at what my mind went through in those times. But everything you go through is all part of a process that there's a lot I didn't deal with, but doing these videos, when I talk on these videos, it's processing the information in here that I've just pushed to the back and tried to get on with life. And that's not a good way of doing it. If I can advise you now, talk. I had someone that was coming in from a charity that was based on the hospital site called Force Cancer Support, and they did so much to support my mum and me. Like, I'd go to these relaxation classes and I fall asleep, and they just leave me to sleep for hours because I was in such peace. And they come in because they had another group and they had to get me to move on, but they had a lovely building there. But, this guy would come out and he wanted to talk to me about accepting death, and I avoided this guy. I seen him as the Grim Reaper. Yeah, I saw him as the Grim Reaper, really. He just used to linger near people wanting to talk about death. And I said, why do I want to talk about death when I'm not going to die? And he said to me, well, there is a chance that could happen, and it's good to get yourself ready for that. And I said, there isn't a chance, it's not going to happen, I'm not going to let it happen. And I didn't. I had a lot of other things going on. It affected my eating. There's still food now that I can't eat. The smell of it, it takes me straight back to things there, and I feel the sickness, the nausea that I got at that time comes straight back. It's quite a strange experience, and it can be overwhelming, but I know that it's just my mind relating to it, so I avoid it. But I avoid certain things. Lamb korma. Sorry, thinking about it. Yeah, see. Alright. It's completely thrown me, that, actually, thinking about that. So I did note down a few things. All I can say is, if you're going through the treatment, try and make the hospital kind of like a home. Make friends, try and get around. Ask for a wheelchair and say you want to get pushed around the ward and see some people, something. And we've got technology that there wasn't this when I had my treatment. I mean, I'm 10 years in remission. That doesn't mean that 10 years of not having to battle, because every day's been a battle, but 10 years cancer free nearly. And it has been hard and a journey, And now that I'm learning all this social media stuff, I found a way that I can give back, which is what I found that when I got my new lease of life, I got given back life, and I got told that I didn't have the cancer. But there was a time when I got told that, because I had to have 6 months at a time, I got told that after the first 6 months it hadn't worked, and that was a trial. Somehow I talked them into giving me another 6 months. I think the way that I said, I wasn't giving up. Like, get that, give me, just, I'm having another 6 months and it's gonna work. And in one of my previous videos, I said about we're all full of good, positive energy that we can use to heal ourselves, I believe, because this is what I got told. And there's techniques about it, and I like the green is my favourite colour. Yeah, I've probably always got something green on, and I pictured all of the good energy. I pictured my body, all my blood basically in my body going through my veins and stuff, like you see on one of those models where it's not got any skin and it's just the veins. And I pictured that, like all the veins and everything, green, my favourite colour, green. Like, but it was a big fluorescent green, really bright, like blowing, like glowing, and it was going through my body, and it was all coming up this way, up and into my head, and like arrows almost, and it was going around because my tumour was on this side. It was surrounding it and sort of getting the area and just squashing and squashing and squashing it down. And I did it for about 5 minutes in the morning and 5 minutes in the evening, and sometimes longer. And this was through the second lot of chemo, and things started to change. My markers started to change, and we started to see results happening that we hadn't, which was amazing. There's still a lot more to get into with this. This has been a long video. I'm gonna leave it here, but there's a lot more that I've got to go into about the chemotherapy. I'm gonna make a call after I've done this video to the oncology department where I had my chemotherapy, because I was so unwell. I wasn't able to know what was going on. I had my mum there who had to deal with it all for me, and I didn't know really anything about what was going on. Once I had the brain surgery and started the chemo in Scotland, I was wiped, and it was like that the whole time. And I think I kind of kept myself out of it because I didn't want to go too deep into what treatment I was getting and know too much about it, because it was going to be really, really bad. And you read, I had books like that, 7 different books like that thick, like over an inch thick, with side effects that you can get from 7 different drugs that were really, really, really strong chemicals that had to break the brain barrier and go into my brain. And I want to know what, now I'm okay, I want to know what the side effects could be and stuff, because I've had lots and lots of problems over the last sort of 10 years with my health. Even though I haven't had or got cancer anymore, I've still been battling for 10 years with so much because of it. and I will touch into that, but I'm going to leave it there for today, and there will be more about my chemotherapy. Hopefully I can get some information about the drugs that I was given and which ones caused. There's one, cisplatin, which is very, it gives you a metallic taste. It makes your hair fall out. It's one of the evil ones, but it really, it hits you like, oh, you're just like, oh my god, but it seems to, I don't know, it seems to be used in, it was used in all of my chemo, so I don't know whether it's one that is very commonly used. It might not be now. I don't know what they use now, as it was different 10 years ago. They didn't know as much as they do now. I want to say my prayers are with everyone who is on any sort of journey, having any sicknesses, any illnesses at all, and with this coronavirus going on, I pray that you're all safe and people are being hygienic around you, and you can stay as hygienic as possible and just keep yourself safe. And if you're not in a position to do that, I pray that the people that are looking after you are looking after you properly, which I'm sure they are doing a wonderful job for you. If not, speak up. Message me if I can help with anything. If you've got any questions, the links will be in the description in a minute. And just thank you all for watching and the amazing support. I'd love to be able to support more people and just get this out there and hopefully help more people. That is just what I feel I can do with my journey in life. There's so much to give back to people from my negative experiences that I'm turning into positives by helping people and dealing with them myself whilst talking about it. So thank you all for listening, because you're helping me by doing that, and I can't thank you enough. So stay strong, yeah, stay strong, keep fighting in here as well, and try the it's like a meditation thing, but just try picturing your body full of that energy, that powerful positive energy that's gonna crush down that tumour and fight back, surrounding it, squashing it down, picture arrows pushing it down, right? And I hope that works for some of you. I'm not promising anything, but it's a way you can try it. It might build up some mental strength that you're really feeling weak at the time. The medication's got you feeling really down. You've been really poorly. It's been a tough 24 hours or tough hour. Then I pray that technique might bring you some ease and fill you with a bit more positive fight. Right. God bless all. Thank you for watching again. Lots of love. Speak to you all soon.